Stuff in. So what I did was I built entire.
Oh,
We'll have to figure out how to get it all to work correctly. And I think that one. So what I'm having to do is I'm I'm green screening out the red of that screen overlay. But the problem is the red is several different layers of red. So I'm having to widen the width of it, so it's making it like this blob that I'm pulling out.
you want me to
So I
just
need to find.
edit the image and chop out the bits you don't want?
Yeah. So I just I took a weird freaking way to it because it's just kind of what I had in mind, or what I how my brain works. So it
Yeah.
worked for me to test to see if it worked. Um, but it actually works and does what I want it to do. So basically, what I do is I take the Lumia stream, I throw it in the back, and I stretch it out so that it's as wide as I need it to be. All right, so it covers the entire screen in the background, and then I green screen out the pieces of it and mask it that I don't want it to show through. And then that way when the bar flashes, it changes and it'll change the color of the thing to any color that people choose. Why are you not working?
After stream, poke me and with the original images and let me know what you want cleaned up for them.
Yeah.
To make life easier for you, because yeah. Probably need to add it to the or reorder it on the scene.
Yeah.
You do that. I'm going to quickly go and claim my my red suit and deal with that. Oh, red! Yay!
Oh, stupid bots. Okay, I just changed that password. Good, now get good. I love how I have to I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with what I just did. I was logging in with my bot account into Twitch, and it made me do one of the stupid little captchas to prove that it wasn't a bot.
Well, I mean, Skynet will happen one day or another, you know.
Dude, where's your working? I am live. I am live. All right, I am making noise. All right. Oh, it's a mess already this morning, guys. All right, so we're in Hot Wheels. Pete has not been invited. Create a convoy.
Wants me to turn sharp right, but I'm currently upside down.
Oh, no. All right.
So I left off at the start of chapter 3. It's making the mongoose.
So you're at expert rank? Or no?
No. Chapter 3, which is part of the Pro series.
Sneaking along. Okay.
That's where I am. Side note, the force feedback on my controller's working today. This is already making my wrist sore.
Oh, nice.
Nah. Because this thing has, you know, ridiculous motors in it.
Yeah. I'm playing with the new controller.
I mean, oh yeah, it's not really rumbling that much. Yeah, you put your ear near it and just hear this. The force feedback crashed on it actually.
Okay. Helpful then.
Yep. I've stopped moving and it's still going. Well, I'm in a loading screen, it's still going.
Oh, that's not good.
Probably wondering what all this snake and mongoose talk is about, right? You take the yellow car, I'll take the blue. I'll explain along the way.
It's the game.
Oh.
You've heard of John Prudhomme and Tom McEwen, right? They were famous.
After this race, I better quickly restart so I don't destroy my wrist.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. I will say this is 2 races though.
Well, and
they called him the Mongoose. They were both well-established racers in their own right. As the two of them competed in the US Nationals over the years, they crossed paths numerous times, which sparked a rivalry between them.
Bye, Pete.
Mattel proposed to make a series of toys based on the rivalry between the snake and the mongoose. The Hot Wheels sponsorship led to all kinds of drag-themed stuff.
good luck. Try not to do what I did. Oh, I found a trap.
Hot Wheels came out
Oh, I
with
found a
all kinds of
checkpoint.
new lines back then.
Hey, checkpoints.
You had sets like the Rod Runner and the Big Belter, which launched cars with rubber bands. The Big Belter could even detect jump starts, which is pretty cool, right? These were a smash hit and propelled both Hot Wheels and drag racing to greater levels of fame. Heavyweights were designed to go faster on gravity drops, and Sizzlers had little battery-powered motors you didn't need a launcher. And a new designer named
still in second when I lost the entire thing and went off the track. Like,
There's only two of us racing. Oh, no,
well,
Haley's in racing too, but she sucks at
There were loads of other innovations like tempo printed patterns on the cars, which no one else was doing.
yeah. So I've just got to the section you're leaving now.
Then you had the Hot Wheels Collector's Club kit, where you could mail in to get either the Boss Hog, Heavy Chevy, or King Cuda, all with open hoods, big supercharger blowers, and silver paint jobs. Oh, so cool. Wish I'd been around back then. You know what? All this talk about drag racing has given me an idea.
turn it into a bumper car. And then I got Lumia's stream working again.
Yeah, so you've got premium again, obviously.
Yeah. And evidently their discount codes don't work on the lifetime subscription.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
It makes
I'm
sense,
like,
but it sucks.
yeah.
Set were powered by rubber bands. These ones, well, aren't. How about you and I test them in a drag race?
Bring it on, Haley. Let's go.
Oh god.
Time to see if that snake has a bite.
Oh, sorry.
Not you. I deliberately just into the wall with her.
Oh,
I do not want. I do not want a challenge this morning. I know that's not really fair, but
this car doesn't seem to want to go straight. It seems to like going sideways.
Coming up on a loop. Keep your car in the middle.
She said drag race, and I heard drift race. Oh, hi Pete.
Upside down
Hi.
racing is the best kind of racing.
damn it, touched the inner wall. And out of one.
Not bad, not bad. I obviously let you win though. Who else am I going to give the keys to the rip rod?
That wasn't a bloody drag race. I thought it was supposed to be a drag race.
It's more like a drift race.
That was just a sprint.
Yeah.
That's all that was. There was no gear shifting or anything. Would like to. Bamboozled.
Alright, you still need to restart.
I gotta do 3 loop-to-loop skills? Oh, it's giving me a waypoint.
Yeah, so what I do with that one is I just go through a loop-to-loop and then slam on the brakes so you can get through it, spin around and go back through it.
Well, I'm hoping it's taking me to one. If not, I'm about to find out. Those moments where you need to suddenly brake because it's all like, oh yeah, you need to make a left turn after, having you come up, one of those vertical bits at 200, like. I wish they'd add a couple of quality of life features to the GPS in this game, like slow the fuck down and AO, it's a blind turn. Nope, that was a speed zone. Why did it take me to a speed zone? What are you doing, game? I might need a minute. I think the game's trying to get me to do multiple things without telling me I need to. Because it's just taking me through a speed zone. I'm now going to... Why?
Super frustrating.
It's just taking me back to the very first frickin' History of Speed thing.
Ooh.
Why? Let me see. What does a loop-de-loop look like on a map?
Like a squiggly line.
Like a crushed Z. Yeah, I see it now. How hard is it to get from here to there? Fairly straightforward.
Well,
In fact,
you also
it is
can
straight. Sorry?
teleport wherever you want on the map for free.
Huh. I'm going to point out that I said fairly straightforward, and it is literally straight along this road. Straight. Forward.
You go straight backwards.
But why? Why, game? Why? What is with this bullshit you're pulling today?
Doing now. It's doing so well the other day.
It's just changed my fucking waypoint to go over a freaking jump for a goddamn tank balloon instead of going the damn road.
Well, if you have stuff pinned, it will do that.
It's not pinned though.
I don't have
Super
these
Loop
answers.
is. Can't be giving me the shits. I just want to go to a loop. Give me a path to a loop. No, I refuse to turn around. Give me a path to a loop. There's one right frickin' there, game. Found one myself. So the GPS definitely needs work, and yeah,
Alright, so the bottom of the magnet tracks aren't magnetic.
well, I figured that much. But yeah, no, I've just double checked. Nothing else is pinned. It's just the super loops.
Huh.
So I do not understand what it's doing. It's probably just bugged out, but it's still bloody frustrating. there's 2.
I'm not sure that's how magnets.
Alright, doing the last one, and then I can move on. Alright, now I gotta do the expert qualifier.
The Great Expectations.
Nope, pod racing.
Oh,
Okay, yep, Great Expectations. Because it says Great Expectations. Now this is pod racing.
yeah.
Because confusing.
Turn around.
But yes, that one.
Safe to do so.
The rumble fixed itself, by the way. Thank God.
Yay! Still fixing rumbles.
After I did one of the skills, it reset itself. So obviously, it just gotten stuck and.
In 400 yards, turn sharp left. Turn sharp left.
Turning left.
You have arrived at your destination.
I'm gonna be honest, the title of this race makes me sad.
Yeah. I, there was talks of that.
There was definitely Great Expectations.
So, you will be racing head-to-head against a special guest in this. Shupan, 3.3-liter twin turbocharged. You ready?
Special guest. Okay, let's go.
Huh? Oh, just somebody I can get a short notice. The car. Based on the model Vern Shupan used to win Le Mans in 1983. I think he looks like something from the future, don't you? I was talking to Haley. We thought a high-speed run through the desert canyons, just like in Star Wars.
Yeah, so who's the special guest then?
Are they just trying to get Disney's attention? Saying pod racing and Star Wars in the same thing?
Surprise! I'm not about to miss out on the chance to race a future legend through the canyon.
What my little cousin means is he begged me to bring him along. Luckily, I was feeling generous, and he is a worthy opponent for you. So,
Oh,
it's a
okay,
Horizon
never
McRae
mind.
legend versus a future Hot Wheels legend through the canyon. Beat Rami, and I'll put you through to the next round.
Why does he get the twin mill?
I think if they'd had literally any voice actor show up, even if they were played an extra in Star Wars, would have made that awesome.
Yeah.
Instead, we have a... Well, at least we know what to expect. So, obviously this guy's the fill-in. Then
Yeah.
again, with this being developed during the many lockdowns, I'd imagine it would have been hard to do anything like that.
Yeah. So I will address some stuff too. I am completely happy with the the Hot Wheels expansion this time. Going back and playing the, I don't know why it just doesn't want to go, but okay. The I'm trying to remember the third one, and a lot of people are saying that this is cut and pasted, and they're upset because we had Hot Wheels in Forza 3, or Forza Horizon 3. I don't remember the Hot Wheels being this good in Forza Horizon 3. I read a couple of posts that were like, "Oh, it's copy and pasted. It's just orange and blue tracks." And I don't. That's not true. Like, yeah, there's orange and blue tracks. But there's also the ice track. There's the water plume track. There's the magnetic tracks. And I don't remember Horizon 3. I remember being underwhelmed with the Hot Wheels tracks. Like, it was kind of like, oh, okay, that's cool, but like it wasn't like, oh, this is cool. So I don't know. And then some of the things that they've done, like I'm really happy with. Can I help you? Nobody called you. Hey, why? So far I'm happy with. Where is this coming from? Huh? What's going on? Head pats.
So it might have given me a few events to play.
Yeah. And most of those I haven't done. I've done a few of them.
Well, I'm at the beginning of it, so I got hit.
I will say your car is not at the top of S1 class.
I'm going to point out that the next mission I have to do is called Are You Winning S1?
Yes. Win all 5 classes. I'm right the expert.
Jesus Christ. I guess they just... Well, this is what happens when you lock up a bunch of game designers and and all that in their own homes and make them come up with names. It gets a little memey.
I don't know if you want to go try to max your or to get your car going, or if you're just going to go with the rank you're at now.
I'm just gonna go with this and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Turn right.
Whee! Ooh, spins. Ooh, spins.
Come through, burning in the fire. Need to find reasons. Fast traveling it is. And sorry for
Yeah.
not being around yesterday, guys. We had a my internet decided it didn't want to work for 12 hours, so that's good. Oh wait, no, that's the other one. And of course, I woke up at 6:30, and there was no internet. Like 7 o'clock, just kind of, I'm like, oh, what the hell am I supposed to do now? So I canceled the stream, kind of dozed back off for a minute. I woke up at like 8, and the internet was working. Like, really, internet? That's what we're doing today.
I forgot this isn't a Lego car, is it?
No, it's not a Lego. Why did you think it was a Lego car?
I don't know. My brain was thinking it's a Lego expansion.
Oh.
Hot Wheels car.
And
Look,
honestly,
man,
I'm happier with
I
this
haven't
thing.
finished it yet. Okay.
Oh, you're fine. Well, and everybody's, I think this is much better than the Lego expansion from 4 anyway. I think that the Lego expansion, like, I didn't like the cars in the Lego expansion. Like, I didn't.
If they wanted the Lego expansion to have been great in 4, they would have had to done something absolutely horrible and let you build the cars brick by brick.
Yeah. Well, either that or they needed to use the Techniques cars, not the Duplo block cars. Because the cars.
Because the problem with using the cars is they're just cars. There's very little customization.
Oh yeah, and that was a big thing too, is there was no customization.
But like Lego, okay, so you don't like, the piece of Lego you have built, you pull bricks off it and put new ones on, and you make it something you like. Like, I reckon for the Lego expansion to have been great, it needed to be, yeah, here's some starter cars, and you can pull bricks off of them.
Yeah, it's...
Maybe a limited budget of how many bricks you can change, sure. Allow us to color the bricks,
Well, you should be able to color the individual bricks too. And, like, I understand, like, that's a lot of work to make all that, colorful. But it wouldn't be any different than... I guess you could really color the individual bricks with the livery editor and everything, but it's a lot. Like, there was a lot more they could have done.
And yeah, it would have made it a lot more work, but
I was going to show you this. So I have built these. There's my yellow alert. Here's my red alert. And the alert clear. So I have the commands built for or the animations built for the item you're working on.
Oh, thank you, game. Fucking hell. So after the race, I was sitting there on a black screen instead of getting to the, this is who won screen. It stayed there for a bit. Alright, I'm back in game again.
That's good. Oh, there's a purple shirt for pinatas.
It's definitely getting, actually, I might just restart the game. It's been wonky since I fired it up.
Okay.
And
I will
think
start
maybe,
driving towards the next race then.
yeah. And I think instead of me just getting more and more frustrated with it being weird, I'm just gonna give it a quick restart.
Yeah. I could see where that might be a thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Yep, thank you, game.
This world definitely seems more like it feels more like a Lego, or not Lego. See how I'm doing it. It feels more like a Hot Wheels track. Like it feels like something somebody built to go play with their Hot Wheels, as opposed to the other one that felt like somebody had taken Hot Wheels and just laid it on top of Forza. This feels like more like they took the Hot Wheels game, they took the track builder, and somebody said, "What's just some stupid crap we can do and just mess with Forza?" And it feels a lot better. Like the ice tracks, like the ice tracks and the log flume or flume track. Like it's at least it adds a difference to it. We got snow back. I know a lot of people really wanted to have snow back in the game, so we have snow back in the game. Driving slow speed, certainly.
Fire up.
Oh.
Come on. Yep, Turn 10 Studios, come on. Okay. New.
So they have this tire smoke is affected by shadows now. So that's why the tire smoke is going from black to gray to white.
What the fuck? I'm extremely confused now.
What's that?
I'm in a Corvette at Horizon Festival, Mexico. Also known as it's just done that thing where it loaded defaults,
Yeah.
and now I've got to.
It did that to me yesterday, once, where it dropped me back to like the Bronco.
Where's Lego again? There it is. Oh, yes, I'd like to travel to Hot Wheels Park. Thank you.
Ah,
Inviting the convoy will still do that. That is brilliant.
give me a second to get over here before I can start trying to run the race.
Yeah, I'll let you know once it's loaded. Okay, I'm in a menu. Out we go.
That's okay. If we can get through this all and stuff in a minute, we'll get to the
Okay.
basically the bad to the blade thing started.
So, start it when you're ready.
What are you doing? Why are you hitting me with your ears again? Weird.
Oh, there it is.
I was being distracted by doggos.
I was starting to get worried that it wasn't going to show me the prompt.
I think it had to wait for you to select the car. But I don't know what kind of car you can choose.
Yeah, I'm just going to be picking the same one as before. Yeah. Are there any S1 Lego cars, or do I have to make one of my Lego cars S1?
Well, this is a
Hot Wheels cars.
technically this is a Hot Wheel expansion car, the one we're driving, but it's not an actual Hot Wheel car. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know if the Copo Camaro is. The Copo Camaro is a bit of a pain in the butt to do, though. So to get the Copo Camaro, you have to go through one speed zone and get 1 star, and then drive to the center of the map and go through another speed zone within a minute and a half. Not a speed zone, that's a speed trap. Jesus Christ, this dude is gone. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't have the acceleration, I don't think, to gain any more places.
Yeah,
Or,
unfortunately.
Driver talk could just keep ramming me. That works too. Well, fucking. Driver Ty's like, I'm gonna hit you. Oh, you're there. I'm gonna hit you. Oh, you're there.
Dude, this thing should be able to go faster than it's freaking going right now. I don't think I'm gonna be able to win this race.
We don't need
I
to
think,
win.
yeah, we don't need, yeah.
We just need to not lose.
I have to come back later with I think my gearing is screwy.
Yeah, I had to fix mine. Speed caps being what they. Oh, for God's sake! Nope. Where's a wall? Get in the goddamn wall, you asshole of a driver tar! And get off me!
This is definitely more of a top speed track than a
That one
handicap
driver
track.
tar was. Yeah, that one driver tar was like, nope, I'm just gonna keep bashing you constantly.
It wouldn't be so bad if when they hit you, like, they took some speed reduction out of the deal. But nope, they don't. They just, like you're not even there. They just freaking.
Then the game does bullshit where you manage to very clearly and very obviously pass all of them, and then the whole rubber band, nah, they're just gonna amazo accelerate back up so they're right behind you.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost started lapping people. I thought it was my imagination that I saw like another car ahead of me. I was like, what the hell? I looked up, I was still in second place, and then no, there's two other cars in front of first place. So we almost caught him, and they could have started slowing him down. I would have caught him. Okay, so we get the expert. Oh, good. This one's snowfields. This should end well. That sounds like something we should take this car into.
Well,
I'm doing it,
we
Pete.
don't. Okay.
Well, it's a off-road dirt. So it's gonna be interesting because I've been taking this car into it.
Probably should at some point take this to the garage and rework it a little bit.
I say the word. I'll go do the rest for a minute.
Oh, we're doing a race now. Well, I meant at some point. I didn't mean now.
Yeah.
I do need to quickly check Discord. And nothing. So, are we likely to mention future game plans at this point, or not yet?
That is up to you. I don't mention stuff like that because a lot of stuff is you're doing things, and I'm not wanting to put you on the hook for stuff.
Well, the mod plugin we wanted for lights is ready.
So is that something you need me to test?
Oh, I've already tested it. I can fire commands off even without premium to the API access.
God.
I don't know why, but I guess it works. I guess their reasoning is, developers can do local, stuff. Kind of interesting, the website says, API is a premium feature, but you just have access to it. Anyway, I do want to bring back my big mod, and we just won't use the oxygen system.
Okay.
Because it has two features that I want. It has rooms that can run machines in them underground. Melters underground.
Yeah, because that makes him happy.
That's probably a feature we're going to want to have. DJ's going to hate it, but...
Well, in the grand scheme of things, though, that's a game that's been out of... he hasn't actually worked on in years. It's basically, it's done. I don't want to say, like, he's abandoned it, because he hasn't abandoned it. It's still there. He's not doing updates for it.
What I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on sitting down
Really?
after stream. I'm planning on sitting down after stream and seeing if I can take a look at a bunch of other mods and patch them into some of the more obscure parts of Fortress Craft. And by that I mean there are some systems that don't recognize blocks, mod blocks in, for certain things.
Yeah.
There are some systems that don't quite, like the rooms in that don't recognize certain things. And I was going to try and take a look at some of the mods that I am going to suggest we have, and see if I could, just create a little, side patch mod to help fix, a bit of the compatibility between things before I then, fire up a world with it, or create a world with it all and get it set up and load that on the server.
So
now's the time to stop being vague and say what the game is.
Yeah, so for those that are trying to catch up with the conversation here, a long time ago we played a game called Forza Horizon. It was made by a developer, his name is DJ Arctis, and Projector Games. If you don't know what that game is, and you follow the channel, you probably really should know what that game is. So basically, if you took Well, originally I would say if you took Minecraft and Factorio and put them together, but now if you took Satisfactory and put it in a Minecraft world, and before anybody gets all wound up, Forza Script Evolved was complete development before Satisfactory was even a thing. So EJ made that game like I think he stopped development on it like what 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, I think development sort of officially ended 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
closer to 4 or 5. But there was a couple of community-sourced bug fix patches that, you know,
Well,
polished a couple of things here and there.
official development.
Yeah, official. Yeah, definitely sort of close to the 4 or 5 years.
So, but yeah, it's got a really strong community around it. We played the living hell out of it, and part of the thing is something that allows us to do, and we will be instituting this. We'll have to figure out at which point we actually turn on the threat agitator. So I've got to figure that out because I'm going to reinstitute something that's a horrible idea, but it works really well. So basically, for every $5 that somebody donates to Extra Life, well, we're gonna have to test it to make sure it works. Pete has put a fix into the game. Did you want to go fix your car or you just race it?
Buy new used cars. That's the button I'm looking for.
Okay.
The brain
So
is loading.
Originally, like several years ago, we had this event where I basically went into Craft, and every time somebody donated $5, I had to put something called a threat agitator on. So the threat agitator, what it does is every time you put one of those on, it increases your threat in the game by 5%. Craft Evolved is basically a tower defense. The higher your threat is, the more monsters spawn, the more hit points they have, the harder it generally is. And then it basically they try to kill your CPH, right?
Central
So
power hub.
yeah, so basically it's the hub that controls it. It's your, the main point. It needed a main point for you to defend. So basically what we do is every time somebody donates $5, we add another one. That is retroactive to the beginning of the year. So the $142 that we currently have there, as soon as we turn it on, we need to have 28 threat agitators put in. So, and it has to be built in such a way that of everything that's powered, because the threat agitators have to be powered. The threat agitators have to be powered before my base can be powered. So, what's that?
I just had a thought.
Uh-oh.
Crazy thought. Do you want in-game donation alerts?
I don't know if it would help.
Because, that's a thing. That's a thing I could do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, I'm usually all for like the more alerts that we have, like the more stuff that people have, the better. But I guess the question would be, what would we actually have it do in game?
So, I've got a couple of ideas, but I want to discuss them with you after stream because. But one of the things I could do would be a simple, a simple machine that simply says how many threat agitators we're supposed to have, and count how many we have.
Oh, okay. So I have like a board that says that I've done bad things and I should put more in.
Well, it was mainly that one idea was sort of just the most basic. It could go and keep track of the donations. Show the donation amount or the donation totals. Tell us how many agitators we've got and how many we're supposed to have. So but just I've got a few ideas so we can.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, but it would have to have a yeah, it just needs a purpose.
Donate to start an attack wave.
Yeah,
Not a serious suggestion, that one, but that could go wrong very quickly. Lighter flywheel, maybe? No. Trying to get 2 points out of this.
Yeah, I just like I said, it would have to be a reason to do it, right? The problem is that, and just kind of going with the crazy idea is having it spawn an attack wave isn't necessarily a bad plan, but it would have to be balanced to make it not like the problem with just spawning an attack wave is going from that's not a problem to oh my god is a very fine line. Because the problem in Fortress Craft Evolved is you are completely okay with an attack wave until you're not, and sometimes that just one extra bug is enough to make it not okay. So that would have to be, it'd be one of those things. And if it spawns an attack wave, I'd be worried about like what would happen if we were in an attack wave and somebody donates during an attack wave, and if it could, if it broke or.
Okay, what if instead of an attack wave, depending on the amount, we spawned actual enemies, like a guaranteed number of enemies? Like a $5 donation spawn 10 of the most basic wasps or something, or
Can you?
This is all hypothetical. I'm pretty sure the code supports this.
Yeah.
Just me setting a number higher and it goes, oh, I've got more stuff to do.
I think it would be possible to temporarily set the threat higher.
I finished upgrading my car. I don't know. So obviously now we're going to have to say that we're not going to be potentially starting Fortress Craft sooner rather than later. Is now we have rabbit holes. Maybe after stream we need to write all this stuff down and I have a list to check.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm all for donations causing me pain. Like, I'm all for it. Because as we learned by the last time we actually had this thing work in Fortress Craft, people really like screwing with me. I don't mind it, especially for that, because it's for the hospital. It's for a good cause. And we had one of our highest. We had our highest year ever adding threat edge. So I'm perfectly fine with people screwing with me. To raise money for the hospital. It's just I want to make sure that, like, it's no fun to just watch me just get destroyed, right?
Yeah,
Like,
we've got to have it be balanced, but
like if we just get to a point where we're so far behind the ball that it just spawns and they murder us, and then we wait 18 minutes and then we respawn and they murder us again. Like, that's not going to be fun either.
yeah.
Well,
so one of the reasons I'd said say a fixed number of enemies rather than threat was, A, I know the feature good, it should be functionally possible, but B,
yeah.
Ooh, somebody had air there. Whoa, there's a wall. Hello, wall. I forgot to change my my gear ratios. Oh, this isn't gonna be good. I was wondering why this thing was taken off like a bullet. It's got 10 years to do so with. But yeah,
And then
just spawning wasps at whatever threat level we're at will mean that, if we're at a super low threat level, we end up with super weak wasps.
yeah, end up
If
with
we're
a
at a
crap
really
load of
high threat level, it's what we're, we should be aiming to be, defending ourselves at.
yeah.
If we've
It
got
just
all the
makes
threat agitators down, well, it's go time anyways, so...
well, and then all it's going to do is it's going to basically it's going to force me into a point where I need to do power generation so that the power generation is better, because if not, I can't rely solely on batteries, because like I have to have enough power generation for longer waves.
Yeah.
Even though the waves at high threat generation are insane.
Oh yeah, they really are.
Like, I know the last time we did this, I know because I counted, we had a wave that lasted over. The waves were lasting over 10 minutes. It was 10 minutes of solid enemies, just one right after another. And in the 10 minutes, I shot over 50,000 of missiles. Because I completely emptied my missile banks.
I'm glad you won that, because I didn't.
What's
So glad you won that, because I didn't.
Yeah, but having a board in there, because the whole point of that too is that if I so as soon as the donation's made, we have to stop whatever we're doing and go that's tomorrow. And basically put more threat agitators in. We need to find out like obviously if we lose CPH, it drains all the power out of everything, and we have to rebuild all the power. And which causes even bigger problems because it drains the batteries for the thread agitators, and those will end up being like massive batteries. Because I think last time it was what the Mark V batteries or whatever that I had, like 2 of those set up with jet turbines specifically to power. Make sure that they were enough to power everything and build the batteries or fill the batteries to make sure the threat agitators never turned off. And obviously we're not allowed to use the threat. I was gonna say we would try to take the threat agitators and remove their power requirements, but part of it is having the power.
Well, I mean, if you really want, I could take the physical threat agitators. Oh no, because it's also a visual sort of we go put one. I mean, I could just mod the threat code to have the keep a track of the donation amount and calculate the agitators.
But part of it was also having the actual these towers of threat agitators with.
Well, I suppose I could do it both. There's a lot that I can do, because at this point, it's a case of there's not going to be more Fortress Craft patches, so I can start throwing code at the wall and. Alright, I finished fixing my tuning, I think. Though I will find out very soon.
So yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, the problem is if we remove the power requirement for the threat agitator, and then something happens, and that way we keep it up, but we've lost power to it. Like I'd hate to that would be a crutch, right? It has to be powered, and those batteries have to be. And then I don't know.
Yeah, we'll discuss it, but just remember that there is a lot of flexibility in what I can screw with at this point.
Yeah.
Because at this point, I could just straight start replacing methods of code or chunks of code in the game.
Yeah. So we should get DJ involved, because I was gonna say something like, well, if y'all put $100 to the side or something, and if they are able to kill us during game day, then I'll make $100 donation, and then we'll have to get DJ, see if we get him involved, so that if we actually cause the game to crash from too much threat. But since he hasn't done development in a while.
Well, it gets so many mobs it falls down.
Yeah. If we actually break his game from getting too much shit in it.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've turned up the speed so they won't be teleporting around anymore, so,
yeah.
Yeah, we can just... Jesus Christ, weaving all over the place. Frickin'.
So, and for those that were here in the past with some of the other, our last attempt at doing this. What happened was there were some changes in the game. There was a bug in the game that basically caused the mobs to go faster as the threat increased.
So it wasn't a bug. So what happened was the speed scaling. I remember having the conversations, and I went through and read DMs, and basically, it was always intended that at higher threats there would be a speed boost on mobs. When this threat is capped to 20k, like it's supposed to, then the speed boost is completely reasonable. However, I think it was an untested boost, and it made things much harder.
Well, in DJ's
At
defense,
lower threat levels, it does work. But when you start getting into 100k of threat, the numbers go really, really, really.
yeah, and we were getting into numbers that, because I want to say we were like getting close to like a million K threat or something.
Yeah,
like,
it was a.
Or not a million K threat, but a million threat. Like it was numbers that DJ's response was, it still works. Like he was surprised the game hadn't imploded.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to DJ's ability to optimize the game. Like he did really well. But we were definitely in uncharted territory and starting to cause problems where there shouldn't be a problem. So there were some fixes that were put in, and then when that speed cap was corrected, the bugs were like teleporting past at like 300 agitators. There was a change that was made to the game, and then they were doing it at like 8 threat agitators.
Yeah.
So it wasn't possible for us to do it anymore. Yeah, I got a purple suit.
It used to be that, as far as I was aware, threat was capped in calculations at 20k, and then, there were a number of other things sort of wrapped on around that. And then, as part of the adventure update, with adding a smoothed sort of threat increase, so instead of it being just snap your fingers and your threat jumps up, it's a slow increase, which made it look much nicer on a graph. And, a number of other things and different mob types, it just became also a lot of changes, and it just all compounded together to break stuff.
Yep, that's what we do.
So we removed the speed boost.
Yeah. So what we end up having to do is basically remove the speed boost to basically allow us to function. So we remove the speed boost so the mobs will slow down. It gives me longer to shoot them, but it allows us to shoot them. Because if not, what ends up happening is the bugs literally teleport to the end of the game or the CPH and just murder it. Like you don't even get a chance to see them.
Yeah, so that's another reason why I was suggesting, maybe we add more bugs with spawns and that, or start a wave, because we are going to have slower bugs.
Well, you got to remember too, though, that the high levels, like the amount of bugs you get, are just redonkulous.
Yeah. But my other thought with the donating to get bugs would be that would be on regardless of the agitators being deployed yet.
Yeah.
So if at the very start of the game someone wanted to donate, say $10 for 10 bugs or 10 basic bugs, we would have to pull out our guns and shoot them.
Yeah.
Or we would lose the CPH. It would be But once we get to, having defenses, proper defenses, then 10 bugs, say 1,000 threat when we've got turrets, we wouldn't even pay attention to the fact
Yeah,
that bugs
it's
there.
not going to be that big of a difference.
Once we have threat agitators up, 10 bugs makes a difference again.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I got to figure out how we're going to do it too, because that's going to be, well, it's already almost August.
Yeah, which is why I'm sort of pushing hard on getting this stuff done to try and get us in it and get us going.
You have arrived at your destination.
I mean, as I said, post-stream, I'm going to be finishing updating the mods on my mods so that we're all ready to go. And then double-checking everything loads and... What are we doing for...
We have to do the PR stunts.
Oh, okay.
I think, I don't know. Well, maybe we can do, I don't think we can do the next event yet.
I wasn't paying attention and didn't realize I needed to do something.
And for the most part, we just need a 1-star for now.
Yeah. I was busy thinking about Fortress Craft and fixing
Yeah,
mods and... So my hope is that at the latest next week we can get started.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other side too, is we need to... It's a fine line, right? Because we need to get enough built so that we can start. And also the other thing is we're not allowed to blow up any hives until game day. And then more importantly,
we can't start cold caverns, can we?
Yeah. So, the problem is the like the other game doesn't, like, yeah, those games don't start until we kill the hive minds. So, but I don't know if, like, this system doesn't work because I don't think the threat agitators are basically useless after you blow up the hive minds.
Yeah. I'm thinking real quick. Do you need... I don't think you actually need to destroy the hive minds to start the cold cavern. I'm not sure. I'm going to quickly ask.
It's been so long. So, and I think
that would be a surefire way to have the server have some trouble.
Yeah.
But the reason I was wondering is, starting the cold caverns gives us access to many more things, and...
Yeah, more guns, higher end guns.
Well... I was more thinking about the factory and all that, because... Sort of... One of the things really needed to get my, crazy room-related stuff working at its peak is... when you get into the Frozen Factory expansion, there's some extra stuff.
So, but yeah, so, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do something to the effect of also, we're only allowed to kill that's right. In order to kill it, we have to, like, kill a hive mind. you had to use bombs to get to a Scooby Center, right?
Sorry, run that by me again.
I was trying to remember what we had to do to actually kill a hive mind.
Build and charge the OET.
Oh, okay, that's right. And then it blows up, and that's how you get to the Scooby Center. So if that's the case, then yeah, we're not allowed to even start charging the OET until the first.
Because like for power transit, conduits would be amazing.
Yeah.
Which is why I was wondering if, if without killing the
I seem to want to think that you can do it.
because if we can, get far enough into. So, I know that if you let the cold caverns get overrun, you can recover from it. You just start from the top and work your way back down to the C5. But what I'm wondering is if we do that, and thus so that it goes quiet again, and we ignore it while we're doing the game day, if we can get enough stuff done externally to it with ignoring the C5, that we can get to conduits.
Yeah.
Because that would mean we could move a hell of a lot of power, which would be quite useful. Because I think in the past we've never pushed down to
Yeah,
to
we
do
usually
that because
don't.
you have to, And I mean, all on the subject of breaking the game, I mean, we're not going to have teleporting enemies now, so we've got a little leeway in
Yeah.
this. So I've asked on the Discord, I've said, hey, I can't remember. In order to start the Frozen Factory expansion, do we need to kill any overminds?
Right.
I'm just waiting to see if there's a response. It could be a while, could be interesting.
Yeah. I can just hear DA going, "Oh God, what are they doing?" And I know Glider Cat just started a Fortress Craft plate also. He's got like 30 episodes or something.
Sorry, everyone. I'm getting distracted by other things and not getting the events done so we can progress. I've just got to do this speed trap here, and then I'll see what else I've got left. Looks like we're going too fast. Yeah, I seem to be managing, though. Where next?
In 400 yards,
Got... How many of the... Oh, there's 6 of them. Okay. Alright, I'm doing the 3rd and 4th now.
I'm trying to drive one direction to another.
turn around
one is drift zone. I hate drift zones. 80k. Alright.
In 400 yards, turn left. Turn left.
It's A, right, for drifting.
Yeah.
Handbrake. Alright.
In 400 yards,
Right.
turn right.
Missed the entry point entirely.
Turn right.
Come on. $80k points, there we go. Next destination. Where next?
You have arrived at your destination.
Two left, I've got to do a U-turn though and go back. Wet season in 59 minutes.
I sent Alejandra some ideas for your final qualifier, but that was a long time ago. Who knows what she's done since?
Qualifier
Good
heat.
luck.
Sorry?
I've opened the final qualifier. Cheese and rice. English is hard.
Are you feeling okay?
No. Smell burnt almonds. I'm kidding. Don't smell burnt almonds. That's a bad sign.
So would you like to try that again? And maybe I'll put headphones on so I have a better chance of hearing it.
I've completed or opened the final qualifier.
Okay, cool.
I need to start at the Huggles Outpost. And get to the treetops speed zone in 30 seconds.
Because I'm still doing the damn PR stunts.
Oh, you're fine.
Speed zone. Speed zone. And then I need one drift zone of 80k. 80K. Okay.
Around when it is safe to do so.
I gotta do. No, I've still got more things I gotta do. Sorry, I've gotta do double dragons and outside inside.
And the double dragons is a bit of a run.
Turn right. You have arrived at your destination.
How about you just start a race, because I can't find where I'm supposed to go.
I wonder if it'll let me start the qualifier if you.
Uh, that's where it is. I think that's where it is. At the dragon atop Hammer Mountain.
Yeah, so you're looking. There's a dragon down here.
Yeah, it would be really cool if this stuff was on the map.
And then you're trying to go to this dragon here.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I said you start a race. We'll see what happens. Because I doubt I'll get there before you do.
Well, here, I'll just touch up. And then we'll just try to see if it's going to let me invite you to the thing or to the qualifier.
Are you ready for the final qualifier? Meet me here.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Did it let you join?
Joining session.
Okay.
I'll probably
Let's see
still
what
have to
happens.
do it myself. I mean, unless
Well,
it gives it to me.
yeah, it's hard. I know, like some of them, like I've done achievements that I haven't finished yet because they're locked behind the walls.
So we have to stay moving fast.
Save the fastest till last. For this qualifier, you'll need to prove you can hold your nerve at high speed. As we're all watching you from the auto show, the crowd is going wild. Show us what that blade can do.
Problem is, we got to do that and then not frickin' hit each other like that. Oh my lord!
Yeah, I was trying to stay left, and then the boost kind of ruined that on me.
Yeah, I was trying to do that, and then it's so twitchy. All right, good. You got some distance on me, so.
Uh,
Take it easy, take it easy. But not too easy, LA. We want to see some speed. Here we go! The hammer drop! For it! Now I checked with Haley and she's pretty sure the G-force can't hurt you.
God.
Okay, now brake, 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 brake!
Nope, no brakes.
Nearly there now!
I think that was the same wall.
Yes, you're through! I'm telling the whole of Horizon Mexico about that run. You can keep the blade, only mind if I borrow you sometime? Maybe for the weekend?
Yeah, if I hadn't have done that spin, I would have got 3 stars.
You mean if we hadn't been it on that same corner?
Yeah.
Alright, let's take a look.
Enjoy the ride? Well, that was your final qualifier. I've got a bunch of new
Time to
events
meet the
and
elite
things
is
to keep you
done.
occupied. Well, I tried to build something worthy of
But I
your hot
cannot
legend.
start it now.
Oh, so it's done, but you can't. Oh, can you not? Can you go to the next level? You can drop an SD card now.
Well, no, it's still locked. Because I've obviously got more to do in Elite still. Sorry, Expert, sorry.
Well, that's why this thing's freaking rear wheel drive.
Right after you take down the Goliath, that is.
And it's like 6 inches long. Yeah, so I already had Hydra Gorge, Magma Canyon, Dragon's Fall. I already found all the stuff. Discovered my Duck Tower, the Big Goliath. There's not a lot of stuff to get in there though. I got the roads, so I got the blue shirt.
You said the other dragon was in the ice somewhere.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's the opposite.
Here we go. What?
Must be the car.
Yeah, so I'd say let's keep going with the races once I've done this one.
Yeah.
And I'll just borrow the car off you. I'll finish the expert stuff off stream rather, not screen. And then I'll let you know if I need to redo any of the races in Elite. Because yeah, really we'll need to find out if it works. 6 kilometers I've got to drive still to get to the dragon. Okay, so I need the right path. Left. Now that I've tuned the gearbox on this thing, oh good god, is it quick. Okay. Forest and Nexus speed maps.
I may try to stick some more stuff on there. I'm trying not to make it too. There's too many small spaces on here to try to put all the words and everything on it.
Mm.
That we want to do.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Oh. How is my car mastery already filled out?
DJ is typing. So DJ's exact words are as follows.
Oh, God.
Nope, he doesn't think so. There are T4 FF level missiles. However, it is not recommended, all caps, to try and run Overmind and Cryo at the same time.
Yeah, that might be a bad thing. Well, it's just too much stuff, trying to. Because the crowd's going to be growing at the same time as Overminds are spawning shit. It's a great way to melt the CPU. Well, so here's a question for you, Pete. It may be possible to put like a 24 processor in the server.
Okay, I need to ask a question now. Are you seriously considering this? Like,
trying
just to run them both?
Just trying to just break DJ's game to a point he's never seen it broken before? I don't know if it's a good plan. I just know that
What?
I was looking for what processors were available for that thing, and I want to say I think it's either a 16 or a 24 processor that is swappable into that motherboard, and I think it's like $100 on eBay.
Because I was gonna say, if you really want to, oh crap, to try and do both, overminds and cryo at the same time, like, I'll
The only
quite
thing,
happily, leave fighting the overminds to you, and I'll go down to the cold caverns and try and fight the
yeah.
cryo.
Well, for the most part, once we get the cryo kind of set up, it's beat back. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave the choice up to you.
But I was thinking it may be worth putting the bigger processor in there just because I know Fortresscraft does it will use however much processor we give it.
Yeah, DJ's good like that. He actually uses threads.
So it may not be a bad plan to do that. I do know if I'm going to do that though and put like a 24 processor or something massive in there, then I will probably I need to shift it to a water cooled setup also. I want to put an actual like an AIO on it. Just because having a little bit better cooling for it, not necessarily a bad thing. So I may do some serious research. Like I was looking at that. It's one of those things. Like I keep coming back to Space Engineers and wanting that to be a good game, but when I was kind of looking at that, because I was looking at my processor, I can go from a 5960X to a 6950X on my motherboard, which would take me from 8 cores to 10 cores. But the problem is at that point is I'm buying a used X processor off of eBay, and that you're guaranteed if you're buying a used X processor that it was overclocked. So that may not be the best plan that I've ever come up with. And then trying to buy a new 6950X processor is expensive. Cost prohibitively so that I would be better just going to get just upgrading to Horizon at that point.
You need to fix the gears in your car.
Well, it's a stock car. This is the way we got it. Because yeah, that guy just runs off and leaves us like.
Your final drive needs to be pushed, or your Flasky needs to be pushed way out. I keep touching the wall. I need to stop doing that. Speaking of, where are you?
I am directly behind you.
Where's
He decided to stop for a pit stop back there. Because I flew by something that looked like a fly on my monitor. And after I flew by it at 200 miles an hour, I realized that it was first place. So it looked like he'd hit a lamp or something on the wall and got stuck. Oh God. Okay, so that doesn't go well.
Did you lift off the track?
Yes. I went on in the skate park there. I went to the one of the inside curves and was kind of on the top of the hump when it come off, and I flew for a little while. Did you go away?
So aside from a gear ratio fix on this, I think it's about right.
It's twitchy though. Yeah, and then like I don't think you get the all the points. I don't know if you get the points like as soon as you basically open, finish it, and advance to the next one. But it's cool that it allows you to come play with us.
Let me just check. Still showing it's low.
So it says my top speed is still
Yeah, but like, I was definitely, having trouble with,
all right. So
keeping speed.
I've just shoved 2 gears off the end of the map. So we'll see how that works out for us.
Next race. Yeah, I've
Uh,
got to do speed trap crap. I'm up to that, start from one speed trap, do it, then race to the next one. Which I don't want to do right now. I really don't.
speed, sorry. Why does this say 800? Okay.
Event lab race?
Oh, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I could have swore it was a new one. Maybe I hit the wrong one by accident. Whatever. It's racing.
Yep, no idea what this is. This will be interesting.
I'm sure this won't end well. Can't think of a single possible thing that could go wrong.
So should I say in the thing, and now Plum's discussing upgrading server or CPUs in our server?
That it won't hurt.
I know. I don't want to make DJ.
You don't need to give him anxiety.
Says no driver towers.
Great.
This, this is
Oh, this doesn't seem safe at all.
Okay. I'm gonna point out that was trees clipping through the track. This is custom.
Yeah.
The
Which
hell is
means
that? So I'd say let's finish this at least for one lap to see what the The track builder, what the fuck is that?
Scorpion thing.
Okay. So for me, this is now less race and more. What is all this?
Yes. So that's hot air balloons that somebody turned into a scorpion.
The hell is? I'm trying to figure out what the pincers are made of.
Oh, they use tracks to make like a covered area.
Interesting. So I guess that means you can place the raw track. Whoa, whoa.
Well, it has to, yeah, because there's like parts of it you see where it's.
Ugh. Oh, we've done a lap.
Somebody speaking, sorry.
What's free?
It's an Eevee.
What's free? 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 What's free?
I get that wrong.
Whee! How does it handle this? It doesn't. It doesn't at all.
Doesn't like that.
Okay. Oh, I've been reset.
Broke that.
Where's stand for Wii?
Right. Oh, I just hung up on Peter. Try that.
That makes sense.
Let's do that. Where's Tab at?
What's happened?
Listen to you was fine.
Yeah, it took me a minute to realize. What's happened with Tab?
No, nothing. Evie, could you try say something again for me, please? All right. Yeah, that was nice. So it changed all the colors for you. All right. No, I had the thing that I made a mistake when I set up the changed on host. Yeah, on host it should have blinked blue for you, I think, or purple or something. But when you speak and tab picks up saying that you've spoken, it should it should flash blue, then like a silver E, as much as I can do with LEDs. Then a purple, all the lights should turn off, and then the background should go blue, silver, purple, black, and then what happened was I had your name space as the quantifier, and it needed to not have that space in there because there's an exclamation point directly after your name when Tab announces you. So I trigger off of Tab announcing you, and that's how I get it to register. That way it just does it one time. Because if not, like if I did it off of your chat message, it would do it every single time you chat. Which I don't have a problem announcing you every time she chats, but it may get a bit overwhelming. especially if I have 20 people doing it. Because ultimately, like I want to have, especially the regulars and the VIPs and the people that have that I don't know what the cutoff that is of who I'm going to allow or not allow to have that stuff. But I'd like to have it set up so that at a certain level of either VIPness or donations to Extra Life or something, it would allow you to have that. That way you can kind of choose your own life pattern when it flashes. So that way people can feel like they're interacting, But how's your day going, Evie? How are you doing today? Nobody? Why did you do that? Why do you just walk over, stick your head in the camera, and then just start smacking me with your ears? Is it because you know you're going to get pets? Got my hair showered, get dressed so I can make you breakfast. Oh, I know. I don't know what to tell you. If you got a good job, you could probably buy your own snacks. Your own fault. Yeah, I would dye my hair, but it's easier just to cut it all off.
So is this the right event now?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of those. It's such a weird thing. Like, like the differences between men and women, and like for men, like you have a little bit of gray in your beard, or you look stately, and it's okay. If women have gray hair, then oh no, the world's ended. But now there's this new thing where all the like everybody's like dyeing their hair gray, like this silver tint to it. Like I don't understand. I'm old. I don't get it. Yeah, it's such a freaking double standard.
I can hear an electromagnet.
Yeah, we're on a.
Sorry, I can't hear you over the electromagnet. I can hear you now. What's up?
Ouch.
Why'd they all slow down?
Because they're dumb drivatars.
But it's on highly skilled.
They use the same thing. It's just how much rubber banding they get. I may have put too much gear into it.
You may have tapped me a little bit there.
Not on my screen.
Ooh, bend it. No, I think the gear's great, actually. Just as long as I don't get tapped.
Ouch. I've hit everything but the police car. Yeah, so I don't know. It's. All right, listen here, you cheaty bastard.
Go damn hard right turn. You come at it with all that damn speed, and then it's just like full brakes.
Yeah. Thing, and it's part of the I don't like S2 and stuff like that in this game and X Class Racing, just because the freaking cars get so twitchy.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like, oh, fine, 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 fine. Oh no, I'm gonna, and then
It's fine, then it suddenly sees a squirrel.
yeah, it's like, oh, I'm doing okay, and then nope, I'm just gonna go sideways now. Like I don't know, to me, like A class racing in this game is like perfect. It's so much fun. It's controllable. It's not crazy. I may need to just take this thing and go work on it and like change it to all-wheel drive and do some stuff with just try to get it to be more controllable, a little bit less twitchy. Because especially at speed, it's just. I wonder if it's just got so much downforce that it's just unpredictable. Yeah, I think it's just got so much downforce that at speed it takes ridiculous corners. And trying to find out where that crossover point is between the speed is just it's I don't know. I'm just having difficulty getting my head wrapped around this car. At least same corner again. Yeah, and then I just passed that guy. He was literally just set still, like just stopped in the middle of the road.
Third.
Oh yeah, speaking of the distinguished and ancient thing, I read something on the internet that people are talking about like the amount of divorces and stuff that happen in the world now, and that reason women for so long were the divorce rate was so low was women were basically, the system was built around keeping the woman in like a marriage or in a bad situation, because um, the world was just built in a way where like landlords just wouldn't rent a house to a single woman with kids. Like they wouldn't do it. They until recently in the U.S. You weren't even allowed as a woman to like buy a house or obviously vote and all this other stuff. So the reason that stuff is changing now is because uh, women can actually do things like it's like they're people or something. It's weird, Pete. Um, I, I think it's good. Like people should be treated as people. Uh, I don't think anything should, as long as you treat other people kindly and fairly, it shouldn't matter who or what you are. You should be treated like a human. So, but speaking of the whole distinguished and that it's just such a double standard. Like, let's type in probably to DJ again.
Yes. Yes, I am.
But yeah, so and then I'm slowly working on the lights and stuff. If you guys have questions or ideas about different colors or things to do with the lights, I'm working on getting a stream overlay. I have one that I've kind of built. I'm working on it. So what I'm trying to do is I want to basically have my stream overlay change color with the lights. And so whatever the lights are doing, I want the stream overlay to do the same thing. And I'm getting really close. We showed it earlier. Well, I showed it to Pete earlier. Just kind of where I was with it, and I think the one I started with was an animated overlay, and I think I might have to get away from the animated overlay and just go. What's that?
You got this. Go.
Yeah. Trying to currently chase down a Ferrari.
I made sure to punt you through that corner and then hit everyone else while spinning, so...
Hey, listen here, Ferrari guy. Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I said DHA, understood. Plum and I are discussing operating server we're using and wanted to check. The thought had been using the conduits for surface power transfer, but yeah, breaking the build order system is not one of our goals.
Yeah, I'm not actively trying to completely break his game. Like all joking aside, like it's fun to haha I broke DJ's game, but I'm not actively trying to destroy the man's game.
Yeah, because that's what we'd end up doing, is we'd end up having so many build orders, the server will just stall out, and we'll have to abandon the world because we won't be able to play for more than 15-20 minutes before the queued build orders caps out again and it dies.
Yeah, but I was thinking that upgrading the processor may be good just for the amount of mobs that we may generate.
Yeah, for stability and that.
Yeah. So I'll have to do some research and make sure, because it's at that point I'm buying a Xeon processor, so I'm probably going to be in the the 2.5 to 3 gig range. So I'm not going to be pushing it hard. I'll just have a lot of numbers.
Yeah. Well, I guess
I
we'll
might
be
have
doing that race.
I might have to fix this card. Like it's so damn twitchy. I may be able to just get a dang.
Yeah, as I said, I think the gearing's fine. It just, it's downforces. It's
I'm gonna
wonky.
cheat.
You're gonna cheat?
Yeah.
Download a tune for it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna download.
Yeah. That means it's gonna handle completely differently.
Oh, somebody's putting it on drag tires. Oh, we'll see what happens. But it's all-wheel drive now, so even all-wheel drive, fine. But yeah, so I think trying to upgrade the server just for that, being able to, I just need to make sure that motherboard will support um, the processor I'm going to try to buy for it. So I'll have to do some research and make sure that, because it's great to spend $100 or something on a chip, but if you actually put it in, that's $100. It's kind of hard to return because, oh, I didn't do my research.
After this race, I'll need to be right back.
Yeah, no.
I'm surprised you haven't put your purple suit on yet.
I was trying to, and then we were racing, and then I painted my car. Then I forgot.
Well, after this race, while I'm quickly gonna pull upstairs for a minute, why not put the suit on?
Yeah. See, this doesn't anything different.
Alright, completely different car. Here we go. Completely different car. Here we go.
Yeah, this goes a little better.
That line was red. Ooh, a long way back.
I saw your mirror. Or maybe it's the other car's mirror. Okay. It's a little bit better now. I still hit everything.
I'm driving a Bullet.
You see,
I came around that corner on my back tires. Only my back tires.
well, that's probably helpful. Ow, 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 ow.
There's a solid wall there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I hooked the edge of the track. So, never mind, you can do that. Whee!
Cheese and rice hit all the walls, why don't you?
China. You saw that, right?
Yeah, like he fell out of the sky, like he fell off the track from up above or something.
Not that it did him any good, but
Well, it's still listed in. What the hell? Like at the last second, all I hear is.
because on my screen I just see this whoop, and then I just fly past him. It's like, the fuck?
Yeah, I saw him drop out of the sky, phasing and bouncing and stuff.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Where is my super suit? Help me. I'm sitting. Actually change it. Yeah, and then Felicity is out. So actually, stay. Oh, money. Jesus Christ. In Nearly a Legend, celebrate by earning an ultimate burnout skill that beep your horn 3 times in a hot outpost within 30 seconds. That's the silliest thing ever. Be able to change. Almost any car now. Should be able to.
And season change.
Yeah. Load. Look at your car. Load. Change the season.
So,
Alright.
I think the track might be wet. I can't tell if it's changed. I really can't. It has a different shine to it now than it did before. Oh, nope, I see moisture. Oh boy.
Oh,
Well,
good wet tracks. So more movie.
So, next race?
That's the series. That's extreme. So this is season. This. I want to go look at the Forza shop. We can get an Extreme Racing pink outfit. Ferrari F40.
Oh, we going back to Mexico?
Well, I was looking at here to see what else. I don't have Ferrari F40 yet, so I'll buy it. This game.
Where's the Forzathon shop?
It's in the campaign, in the festival playlist, and then you go to the summer.
How? There it is.
I have so many Hot Wheels cars.
I have 1,800 points. I've never bothered to get them. And use any of them.
Yeah.
So what's in this that's worth getting?
Well, I just buy any outfits that are there. I'll buy them. The car horns, I always buy those, just because if you get them here, then they don't show up in wheel spins. And
I've
then
already got Steamboat.
yeah, and then the Ferrari F40, like I just didn't have it, so I bought it. Yeah, because I'll go through later and oh, this is.
Oh yeah, did you put your purple pants on yet?
I did.
Okay. Well, now that you got your purple pants on, shall we continue or?
Yeah, I'm going to. I guess there's a seasonal stuff here too.
Oh, cool.
So we're seeing it's A800 though.
Joining session on. Welcome to Slip and Slide.
I don't know. It did say A800 though. I don't know what's going on.
Guess the Bone Shaker's coming out again.
Yeah.
Why does this feel like we're playing against players? It's not a full team. No,
Agreed.
they're acting like driver tasks, not players. I would have expected much more drastic steering if they were players.
Yeah. Listen here, jerk.
Hey, what should he call him, jerk?
Oh, that was a Javatar.
No,
I
it was
thought
a
you were.
Peter.
I thought you were
Oh.
ahead of me.
I was, until you tapped me, and now I
Oh.
am again. I was nudged in front.
If I realized, holy Christ.
Woo! Clearly this isn't the car for this, given that I just got rammed.
Yes.
I say that, but I'm catching up to them. I wonder if that was one of those mega rubber band moments.
I don't know, dude. The one guy just flew by me.
Hey game, can we drop gears? You know, doing 130 in gear 8 is not exactly ideal. I need to see if there's a spare button on this controller I can map, and forcibly map a gear down button to it.
Yeah.
So I can hit a button to make it drop a gear when I need it to. Because sometimes it just doesn't.
Spot when we start dropping down. Like they seem to pass me, and like once they pass me, I can't catch them any longer. It doesn't help that I'm hitting every freaking wall there is.
I'm having no trouble. Like, I don't know, okay, that there's a wall. Aside from that wall, I'm having no
Yeah.
trouble.
Well, part of my problem is I saw it was an off-road track, so I was like, okay, I'll bring the off-road car. So I'm on freaking mud tires, so that's not helping.
Yeah.
And this thing's set up for more power going through like dirt and stuff. And seeing as how there's no dirt, kind of at a disadvantage. I can see them, I can't. matter how much I push, I'm trying to like push into like walls or push. I'm not lifting corners. I just can't catch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it comes. Like I don't see anybody on me at all. Oh, I'm surprised somebody didn't come flying past me on that freaking downturn.
I'm not wearing my glasses. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
I was thinking, why is my brain having trouble with these screens tonight?
Well, yeah, and the blue blockers, like you don't really notice it when you're wearing them, but yeah, when you don't, you'll definitely feel it.
I put them on, my eyes immediately relaxed. Like,
Yeah.
instant, I could feel the stress just dissipate from the eyes.
All right, so must go with car that does better on pavement, evidently.
Fast traveling other players?
Oh
Setting
no,
up a...
maybe you'll get to change cars.
Oh, well, that was your practice run for the for this car. There's 3 races. There's 3
Oh, good.
races, Plop.
Oh, good.
Please do not lose this. There you go, Plum, you got this.
Yeah, we'll see.
On your inside.
See how long that lasts.
Bye.
At speed.
Come on, turn. I had no grip. I think this is the same, almost the same track.
Right,
Now in
yeah.
really bad conditions. Oh! I just started phasing through the track.
Oh, that's good. I still don't see we didn't.
Like, I watched the wheels disappear through the bottom. So that was, less than ideal. So there are physical limits to how much downforce the game can compensate for on those loops. And then physics gives up on you. Yeah, so on that loop that I believe you've just gone through, the body of the car touches the track.
That's healthy for it.
Like, full contact kind of deal.
What a half-minute freaking lapse. I think we got 3 of them.
You still back there, or?
I'm working on it. I'm still in second. I don't know where the hell the guy is behind me. I'm okay with that.
Well, I've just finished going through the loop.
Yeah, I don't see anybody behind me.
Really hard turn. Oh, I can see you on the minimap now. It always concerns me with that last loop. That time I was going fast enough for the body to start disappearing through the track.
You're working on trying to lap people as it is. Yeah, I see you. You're way the hell up there.
So whatever I did to this thing, oh boy.
Well, at least for this track, it's doing well.
Oh, I see a driver tar. I see a driver tar. Hello, good sir. I would like to lap you.
Yeah, take that, silly driver.
I have now lapped last place.
Oh.
And I didn't bin that corner. Holy crap.
I'm getting closer to him. I don't think I've actually
That's it.
seen him, but
Oh. Yeah, that was, you know where the skull on the front of the vehicle is?
Hmm?
The skull just disappeared through the track.
Oh, good.
It stayed on the track, but yeah, it was just down and through. Like, oh, that's...
That doesn't seem optimal. Seems like you'd want to keep that bit of your car out of the track.
But yeah, so basically, only the windows were above the actual track still. That's how far it was being pushed through. We won, though. We got a super wheel spin. I swear, if I'm not getting credit for these, I am going to be.
Well, that
slightly
should be the that's not the yes, complete seasonal event in that Hot Wheels track. So that would be a seasonal event. So we should be able to go here. Oops. Oh, there it is. Slip and slide. So then, okay, so those Hot Wheels events. It's on the festival thing.
For which?
So if you hit start, and then you go to campaign, you go to
you must reach rank of elite in order to qualify for this challenge.
Oh, jeez. So yeah, so you're not getting. That sucks. We'll have to work on getting you.
Enter Hall of Fame? Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's weird. Like if you're not in Hall of Fame, like so right now it says I'm not in Hall of Fame. But if I leave here and go back to Mexico, then I can do that one. But I have to be in Mexico for it to register that I'm in Hall of Fame. It's screwy, but that's basically what happens.
Yeah, so I need to go finish Expert.
5.
Alright, yes.
Okay, so pretty much. Okay, so yeah, they still have enough points, but you pretty much would have to do everything. Almost everything. So the points for these two are just extra. So, because, yeah, so we got 5 points for, well, I got 5 points for doing the bottom of that one. You just need 20 points to get the Porsche.
Yeah.
Oh. Alright, unfortunately, I am running out of times. So I'm going to go see if we can find some place to go hang out. So I have viewers today. Not seeing anybody. That's it. Well, I don't know right now. You know what? We're gonna raid Zeke. We don't raid him often enough. So we're gonna raid Zeke to death. Do me a favor, go tell him I said hi. We will catch you guys tomorrow. Y'all be safe. Talk to us.